Morning everybody, it's Chris here from String Education with the Forex analysis update for the 13th of April 2011. Just looking at the euro against US dollar on our CTC strategy template. Just going to look at the daily. Just going to draw my trend lines in. So we know the uptrend is very strong. You can see the moving averages are well evenly spaced out. And I'm just going to pencil in some support and resistance areas. We had a bounce yesterday. I mentioned that it needed to stay above the top end of this to see further extensions, and sure enough we had it, and we've seen a bounce. Asian market trading has been quite shallow, trading above the previous high of this bullish engulfing pattern. So the high of this candle here at 14,486 is the high it needs to close. You can see yesterday it traded higher but failed to do so. So it's 2 days now, and the third day Asian market is, and the European session open is just slightly taking it. It's still head bashing itself. Ideally we want to see price trading above this level going into the US session this afternoon, and ideally trading above the high of this wick on this candle here. So the high of this candle here at 1451.70. But you can see the moving a swing high, swing high, swing high. So intraday we need to see it trading higher than two prior days, and this is definitely a resistance level because price has failed to on 2 occasions to break this high here. So the high of 1448.60 would need to be breached this morning or this afternoon, and we could see further extensions to the upside. We have had resistance at this level on a weekly time frame at where price is trading here at the high of yesterday. So resistance wise there's quite a lot here. You can see that's the reason why we've had a slight pause here. Momentum needs to be taking it higher than this high here of the candle. But first of all it needs to break this one over here intraday. But this candle here needs to be trading higher than this at 1451.70 to see further extensions to the upside. Intraday, let's have a look. You can notice on the 4 hour, for example, nice swings showing you the uptrend. Swing high, swing high, swing high, and moving averages helping this and well evenly spread out to confirm bullishness. But as we've moved higher, you'll notice that price has gone sideways, and here for example we've had a number of candles just going sideways, a lot of indecision creeping in yesterday on this pair and moving sideways because of that. But at the high of this candle here at 1450 and change, we've had a long-term resistance level. So we've seen consolidation at this area. Going to our small time frames, the 30 minutes, you can see that consolidation taking place. And at 1452, we can see a high. So ideally what price needs to do now, we know we're in an uptrend on a bigger time frame. We know we're trading above all the moving averages and our CTCs in our favor. All we need now is to see a trade higher than the 1452 going into this afternoon or this morning, to see further progression to the upside. Otherwise 1450-200 is going to be its resistance level today, and we could see price revert to the downside because of that. So yeah, 2 areas. This is the prior resistance area. You can see we're still trading below it. Resistance, resistance, resistance. So we need to be trading above that to start with, and then this one, the high of this. Okay. Next up is cable. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. You'll notice that price failed to break higher than 16,400 again. And because of that we've seen price revert to the downside. Yesterday we had a long bearish engulfing pattern, and we've seen price this morning trading slightly higher on the Asian market session going into the US, the UK, the European. I'm just going to put in our major support and resistance, that one being a huge one, the 1600. Definitely going to piece that one in, and definite support and resistance at the 16-20 mark. So as things stand, that would definitely be a place where price could we move to. We've been in the past, so there's no reason why we shouldn't be seeing it move to that area. Okay, as it stands, we're still trading above all the moving averages, and the CTC is still blue on the daily time frame. Intraday, 4 hour, you can see that we've seen price pull back after testing the 16,400 mark, and by doing so forming lower swings You can see that swing low, swing low, swing low to the downside, and as long as the trend line is in play and price cannot break higher, then we could see price reverting to the downside. However, on a 4 hour, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 20 hours where price has failed to break the support level at roughly the 16,2500 mark. So that's a strong resistance, strong support level. That. Now the 50 period moving average. So on a 4 hour, we have a strong support area. If price cannot fall lower than that, then that's definitely going to be classified as a support area. And this, from where price moved in this case, so we take a projection. Let's see, go from the low of that candle to the high. That's, funny enough, is a 38.2% fib mark. So just a pullback in this up move, and then we could see progression to the upside, a further attempt at the upside if we can find definite support at 16,2500 going into the remainder of this week. It's trading above the 200 period moving average and the 50. So it needs to find more support in here, hopefully a bounce. If I go back, you can see this is definitely a long-term resistance support area. So just mark it down, put that in on a dark black, and say to yourself, okay, great, 16,2500 is definitely a support and resistance level, and it needs to breach that in order to be still confirmed as bearish, or could see potential bounce to the upside. Looking at the smaller time frames, as I mentioned, you just got to put in 16,2500. So go to your 30-minute chart, for example, 1625. There we go, 16,2500. A 30-minute chart is there. So if it's trading below that, then definitely look for further extensions to the downside. You can see a noticeable support or a pause or consolidation at this area, and if we don't see price trading lower than that, then we could see confirmation support, and we could see further upside moving or bullishness creeping into this, and we could see the 200 period moving average at 16,3200 being tested, and a break above that. You can see price running all the way back up and retesting the previous highs at 16,400 or higher here at 16,4220. CTC is still negative though, so until such time as the CTC goes positive on that time frame that you're looking at. So that's a 30-minute. You can see straight over here on the 5-minute, we're starting to see that bullishness creep in. We still got to break the 200 period moving average on this time frame, and we've got to be trading above this high here. You can see it was known to be a resistance level, which will take it above the 200 period moving average to see further extensions to the upside on that time frame. Next up is the US dollar and Swiss franc. Let's have a look at it on a daily time frame. You can see that price has reverted to the downside again after breaking lower and consolidating and then pushing to the downside, so failing to break above the 0.92500 mark, and price yesterday rallied all the way down to its previous low and tested it. Look at that, bang, just on the 0.89550 mark. Now what's doing now on the European session open is pretty much consolidating at this level. Notice it's trading at an all-time low. So are we going to find support at this area or consolidation before we see further extensions to the downside? Notice we've had lower swings on this, so price dictation on this smaller time frame is negative. CTC is in our favor, so we'd only be looking for consolidation for a part. But if we don't see 0.89550 broken soon, then this could be classified as a strong support area. We've been there before, and we could see a potential retest of the 0.950 going into the latter part of this week or next week. So interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days to see if 0.89550 becomes a strong support area or we have a breach. Intraday, you can see price just moving sideways. CTC is still governed by a lot of downside, but you can see price has consolidated swing highs on this time frame, but you'll notice that still resistance level at this area, so it's been squeezed now. Moving average 50 is in play, which has been a resistance level for this, or ceiling level in the past. So it's going to be quite interesting to see if price reverses to the downside, pushes to the downside later on today or this morning when it comes up and finds it's still strong resistance. And because we're trading in a negative trend, we should see price revert to the downside. However, if this area over here is broken and it closed, price will close higher than at least 0.8990, could be indication that we're seeing that consolidation, a bigger time frame taking place at that level that we've been to in the past, and we could see the likes of the prior breakout area. Here we saw it's 0.902550 being retempted or retested, and then you can see the trend line, the major trend line for this chart on this time frame will be tested, which happens to be around the same area where this prior resistance level is. Moving to the last pair of the day, the US dollar against Japanese yen on a daily, you can see price has now found support on the other side of the 83.50 mark, and I mentioned if it found support on that, then we could see a push higher. And sure enough, we've seen the Asian market pick up over trading, and going into the European session open, we've seen price trading slightly higher. It's a great sign. So if we can see a bullish engulfing at this area here, and it could be a breakout of a downtrend. You can see for a long period of time this pair has been trading below the 200 period moving average, and for the first time we've seen in the last week or so price moving well above the 200 period moving average, and all we're seeing is a consolidation taking place now, and we could see a bounce to the upside taking place of this. So the intervention taking place earlier last month, and then highs, swings because of that, break higher, and now we're finding support above a 200 period moving average, which was currently a resistance level, which could now be a possible support area. So going into, we need to see a break higher, price trading higher, and obviously the high of the Asian market high, so 84.2500, and then going into the remainder of this week, we need to see price making new highs intraday to see further progression to at least a reattempt of the prior high on the daily at roughly around the 85.50 mark. So intraday, what we want to see is, look at a 15-minute for example, price is now testing the 200 period moving average, so it needs to be trading above that. CTC is in our favor, so on a 15-minute we're looking for positives, but the positive is going to come when we see a break above the 84.20 mark. If you look at a 5-minute for example, CTC is also in our favor. 30 minutes also gone blue. Just remember that we need to see a break higher than the Asian market higher, so 84.20 in particular, or the 84.30. So you can bide your time, and then you can definitely see there was a prior support area roughly around the 84.55 mark, which will come in where the 200 period moving average will come into play. So you've got to see a break higher than this candle, and then we could look at that being our next target. See the same thing happening on an hourly, the 50 period moving average coming in. So a lot of resistance level, there's a lot of resistance for this on the smaller time frames. It needs to break higher than that. So the high of this candle here at 84.200 got to be trading higher than that on an hourly. Best thing to do on a bigger time frame, i.e. your 30 or your hour chart, is just put a alert for above this candle, because if it's trading above that and closing higher than that in your 30-minute, then you're going to see that momentum shift into the bigger time frames, and you could see price moving in our favor. You can see straight away that on hourly we have a swing high, and we've got a blue candle and a blue arrow. All we're missing is the CTC to go blue on either side, and that will come once we see price trading above this 50 period moving average on an hourly chart. Hey guys, that's it for today. Hope you have a fantastic trading day. All that's remaining to say is to trade serenely.